Okay, we're now going to move on to doing loops in Java, doing something over and over again, which is a very common aspect of programming. There's a number of ways you can do this in Java, and the way you pick depends upon what you actually want to achieve, and there's some style and quality of programming points to make too. But for now, we're just going to look at the very simplest kind of loop you can do, which is a while loop. So the actual while loops in this program here, this is about how long it's going to take to double a certain amount of money given a certain interest rate. The syntax is very similar to an if statement. You've got a keyword, but it's while rather than if. As before, there's a condition in brackets after the while statement, and this essentially is going to be something that's either true or false. And then once again in curly brackets we've got the body of the code. These are the two lines that we're going to repeatedly do over and over again, and we're going to do that as long as this condition here is true. One of the things you normally want to do with loops, not always but normally, is you want them to end at some point. You don't normally want them to go on forever, so you essentially have to have some condition which you evaluate every time you go around the loop, and eventually the idea is that that's false, and at that point the loop stops. Now for that to be true, what you put in here has to be changed by the loop. So what we're saying is that current amount, as long as current amount is less than 2000, we're going to carry on doing this loop. Current amount starts off at 1000, so clearly it starts off true. But every time we go around the loop, we execute this statement here, which essentially says, okay, add into the current value of current amount times 0.03. Basically this means add in 3% of the current value as interest. So every time we go around the loop, this value of current amount will rise. Eventually it will reach 2000. As soon as it's equal to or greater, it will stop. Now the other thing we're doing in the loop is we've got this years plus plus statement, which basically adds 1 to this variable years, which starts off at 0 to begin with, and we're going to print this out at the end, and this is going to tell us how many years it's going to take for our investment to double. So we can do this. I've already compiled it, and it turns out to be 24. So basically this loop's going to go around 24 times. One thing that's quite handy to do often when you're trying to work out whether your code's working or not is to actually put some statement in here which prints things out. We're going to put in here years. So this is going to print out the current value of years, and we're going to put in is going to be the amount so far, which is going to be amount, slightly a bit long there, but never mind. And we're going to leave this one here down there now. Now what this will do is means that every time we go around the body of the loop, we'll print out the value of years so far and the value of current amount so far. So we better save that and go away and compile it. And oops, and that's because I've got a T missing there. So we'll do that again. Okay, and as you can see, it's printed out every time it goes around the loop. It's printed out years and the amount. So after 1 year, we've got £1,030, which is what you would expect given an interest rate of 3%. And then it's 1,060.9 because this is compound interest, so it's going to go up by 3% each time, and you can see progressively it's growing until eventually, after 23 years, we've got £1,973 and some ridiculous number of pennies. By the way, you never really do arithmetic on money using doubles because they're only approximate. After 24 years, the amount's grown to 2,032, and so that's now more than £2,000, which is our target, and so we're actually going to print out, the loop will end and we'll print out 24, which is printed out by this statement here. Okay, we're going to continue this example in the next video.